Morning everybody, it's Rob, Yoga Dad, and it's Wednesday. Welcome to the middle of the week, and I hope you're feeling well this morning. And this is the eighth, can you believe it already, of our Summer Stretch Challenge series, where we're taking time to prioritise our own health and well-being, but also as an opportunity to kind of help others by raising awareness and donations. Charities, that includes Age UK Bristol, Julian House, on domestic abuse, Keynsham Food Bank as part of the Trussell Trust, Suicide Prevention Bristol, St Mungo's for rough sleepers, and also Off the Record Bristol for young people's mental health. There's donation links, fundraising links at the top of my Yoga Dad Facebook page. It's a pinned post with all of the links for Facebook and Just Giving pages for individual charities that we're supporting through this campaign. So far we've raised an amazing £205 for the charities over the course of the last 8 days. We've got a long way to go. We've still got about another 4 or 5 weeks. I don't know whether I can keep going for that long, to be honest. So let's keep banging the drum, sharing these posts, encouraging others to join us for these sessions. Okay, let's get going. So we're going to start on our backs again, as we've done for the last couple of days. It's actually quite a nice morning. I was just looking at the clouds, just becoming mesmerised by them as they're moving across the blue sky above me. I hope it's similar where you are this morning. I'm just taking the feet now wider than hip distance apart and just knocking the knees in towards one another. And just closing the eyes. So as we turn our palms up towards the ceiling or the sky if we're outdoors this morning. I'm just taking a big inhale and exhale and just allowing ourselves just to settle down onto the ground. And just taking this moment just to kind of feel, we'll see how we feel this morning. Any aches or tension we may be carrying. Using that maybe to frame our stretch session this morning in terms of how far we want to challenge and push ourselves. But also just as a brief opportunity just to check in with the breath. So often it's short, shallow in our bodies. Each time we breathe in and out. So we're learning to lengthen and deepen the breath, to engage our deep abdominal muscles in the mid-body. And just really allow more, or unlock energy, I suppose, to be directed to where it's needed most as we move, as we feel, as we sense, as we think. Each time we stretch, whether it's through this 15-minute sequence this morning or any time during the day. Okay, let's slowly open the eyes again. Let's just walk our feet back in towards hip distance apart, knees again hip distance apart. We keep our palms facing down now towards the floor. And we're going to press down to all 4 corners of the feet, tucking our tailbone under, keeping our chin tucked in nice and closely towards the chest, just to maintain length along the back of the neck. We engage our thigh muscles, and then we slowly start lifting our hips up towards the sky. Really feeling that opening up now across the hips. If you're watching this on playback, you might want to use a bit of extra support if you're struggling at all, any challenge, discomfort for the lower back region, just providing a little block just underneath the bum, just around the lower back region. Otherwise, just keep pressing down through the feet, and on an exhale, lowering back down again. We'll do that twice more. Inhaling to lift up, and exhaling to lower back down. And each time you might find as you lift up, you can just get that little bit higher. So extend along the back body, really feeling that opening across the front body. And exhaling back down again. Now this time we'll introduce the arms to the movement. We're going to lift them up and overhead as we lift the hips up. So inhale as we lift the hips up and lift the arms back and overhead. Really feeling that length now along the side body, all the way from the fingers down towards the hips and the knees. And exhaling back down. Twice more, in your own time. Inhaling, lift up, keeping those knees drawn in towards the centre of the body. There is a tendency for them just to start splaying out towards either side of the mat. Inhaling one final time as we lift up, reaching those arms back, and exhaling back down again. Now let's work the lower body. So we'll just start moving our heels or feet that little bit further away from the hips each time we lift up. So we just start in our normal position, so heels towards the hips, pressing down through the feet, lifting our hips up, On an inhale, exhaling back down. Now just start walking the feet out, a couple of inches at a time. Inhaling to lift the hips up and back down again. And each time you walk the feet that little bit further away, you might find that the thigh muscles start really firing up, a little bit more length along the back of the legs as well. And you might not necessarily be able to get as far up as you open up across the hips and lengthen along the back. And back down again. And maybe one more. Pressing down through all four corners of the feet, lifting the hips up, and then back down again. We'll walk the feet back in again, a couple of inches at a time. So heels back towards the hips, lifting the hips twice more. And again, you might find you've just got that little bit more height, a little bit more opening across the hips as you move the feet back underneath the knees again, and all the way with the heels up towards the hips again. Lowering back down. Now let's keep our right knee bent, and we're going to lift our left foot up towards the ceiling or the sky. We're really pressing up towards the upwards through the left heel, while at the same time the left toes are reaching back towards the left shin. We'll clasp our hands and bring them around the back of the left leg, so just around the back of the left thigh, and we'll just start rotating our left ankle. So imagine that we're drawing circles with our toes across the ceiling, in one direction and then the other, and then pointing the toes up, feeling that stretch along the front of the left foot, bringing the toes back towards the left shin, really feeling that sensation of length now along the back of the left leg, and just holding that for a couple more breaths, and really feeling that length now all the way from the left hip to left heel. Now slowly start bending the left knee and bringing the left ankle across the right thigh. We take our left palm and just start gently pressing into the left knee, and really feel that opening now as we externally rotate the left hip. Grab a strap or a belt and thread it around the back of the right thigh. And just binding that round as much as you can, just to provide that extra bit of grip across the hands, and then slowly start lifting the right foot up, right thigh up towards the upper body, while at the same time the left knee continues to open up away from the body. So keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed down on the floor, hips relaxed down, lower back, tailbone connecting to the ground. And really feeling that opening now across the left hip as you keep drawing that right thigh millimetre by millimetre in towards the upper body. And slowly lowering the right foot back down again. Option now to revert back to the original bridge pose that we did just a moment ago, so left foot alongside the right and lifting the hips up, or keeping that left ankle across the right side, keeping the palms flat down on the floor, engaging that right glute in the right backside, pressing down through the right foot and lifting the hips back up again and opening that left knee away again. So really feeling that opening now again towards the left hand side. Keeping that right thigh engaged, pressing through that right glute in the backside, slowly lowering yourself down, left foot alongside the right, arms out either side, and just windscreen wipering the knees from one side to the other. Provide a little lateral movement for the spine, but also through this twist, just closing the hips back up again. Okay, back round to the centre again, keeping that left knee bent this time. We'll lift our right foot up towards the ceiling, clasping our hands around the back of the right leg, and we'll just start drawing circles with the toes in one direction, exploring that full range of movement in the right ankle this time, and in the opposite direction, and then pointing the right toes up, length along the fronts of or the top of the right foot, right toes in towards the right shin. That sensation of length now all the way along from the right heel, down towards the right hip socket, Really feeling that grounding down through the floor. And then taking the hands away from the back of the right thigh. Crossing the right ankle now across the left thigh. And again, options here. Right palm to right inside of the right knee. And just gently pressing away just to feel that opening now across the right hip. Length along the back of the right leg. Or grabbing the strap or the belt or whatever else you've got to hand as a cord. Threading that around the back of the left thigh. And then slowly lifting the left foot up, while at the same time opening that right knee out towards the right hand side. And this stretch might feel quite different on either side. So just taking this opportunity just to explore the space that you're creating across the hips, at length along the back of the right leg, but also the opposing forces of the left knee reaching in towards the upper body, while at the same time the right knee reaches out towards the side. Slowly lowering the left foot down, taking that belt away, strap away to one side, grounding down through all four corners of the left foot. Option here is either to take the right foot alongside the left and lifting yourself up into a bridge, as we did earlier. Otherwise, keeping that right ankle crossed over the left thigh, engaging that left glute in the left side of the back side, pressing down to all four corners of the left foot, inhaling to lift up. You open the right knee away to the side, opening up across the right side of the hip, keeping that left glute engaged, left thigh engaged, pressing down to all four corners of the left foot, slowly lowering down again, taking the right foot alongside the left. This time we'll cross the forearms over one another, over the top of the, and then back to the centre again. And just rock ourselves now up. So we just place our hands behind our thighs, we just rock ourselves backwards and forwards, and then bring ourselves up into a seated position. And we can find a comfortable cross-legged position here. And again, if you need any support, just use a block or a book, thick book, that kind of thing, just underneath the hips, just to prop yourself back up again. Good measure of that is whether the knees are that much higher than the hips. If so, then just lifting yourself up so they're at the same height at least, and just create that little bit more space across the hips. Okay, so take our one of our hands out to the side, it doesn't matter which. Inhaling, lifting the opposite hand up towards the sky, really feeling that length now along the side body, and then slowly folding across to that same side. And just ensuring that that top shoulder doesn't round down. If it does, then just lifting that upper arm back up again, just to maximise that space across the chest and the shoulders. Really feel grounding down through that opposite hip. And then tapping the hands into the middle and folding across to the opposite side. Really feel that length that you're now creating along the side body. And using the breath to really support the muscle release, support the space that you're creating in the body. Back to the centre again, keeping those arms lifted up and overhead. Inhaling to lift. Lift the fingers as high as you can, and then rotating around in one direction. Placing the opposite hand across the hand across the opposite knee. Back hand round the back of the body. Tented fingers. Inhaling to lengthen. Exhaling to deepen into the twist. Back to the centre. And rotating around to the other side. And then back to the centre again. Hands back across the knees. And there we are. 8:45, perfect. Thank you everybody for joining me this morning. I hope you enjoyed the stretch session. Seems like it's becoming a little bit more overcast now, but still hope to do some blue skies later in the day. That's my weather forecast for the day. I hope you really enjoyed today's session. Please, as I said at the start, tell your friends, family, anyone in your local communities that may be interested in getting involved in these sessions. They are now all on YouTube. The first 7 have all been uploaded to YouTube yesterday, so you can find the link to that. I'll post it on my Yoga Dad page later. So free to access anytime, anywhere, by anyone. So get involved and as much as anything, raise awareness and donations for these amazing 6 charities that we're supporting. through this 6-week challenge. Have an awesome day and see you soon. Namaste.